Remember the fun we had when you poisoned me?
Something you ate, the doctor said.
Yes. Arsenic on the rocks.
So I'm Johnny Holiday from the band Ruff Majik. We'll be releasing our new album Electrogram on the 28th of April, which is, well, as I'm speaking, that's tomorrow. But yeah, that's about it. Check it out.
Beautiful, Johnny. Thanks for joining us, man.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, well, it's not evening over here. You know, it's only 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, Jesus. It's, what is it, 6:30, I think, over here. Opposite polar opposites.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, man, Ruff Majik are releasing your new album, Electrogram, on April the 28th. So how are you feeling about it, firstly?
I'm pretty excited. There was a little gap there where I wasn't sure how things are going to go down, just because it's, you know, it's a different kind of album. But so far we've had some reviews come in and they've all been really, really positive. So it's given me some renewed vigor. I'm ready for it now.
Very cool. So tell us a bit more about the album from a musical point of view and what you're going for with it.
Well, musically and lyrically, it's a very schizophrenic album. I feel like it's all over the place, jumping in and out of different genre styles. And, you know, it's always very rooted in the rock and roll. It's got to be, but we've taken it from every possible angle, I guess. So, but that was kind of the point. It had to be like that for the story to be able to flow. And then when we had them all collected, the biggest mission was actually to just make them fit, you know, just to have it go through congruently. But I think we managed it.
Oh, so you say it making it fit so the story flows. Is there an actual common theme throughout the album, is there?
There is, yeah. It's quite a heavy theme as well. It came about mostly because I had to be admitted for a little while because I had some mental issues, which are sorted out now, thankfully, you know, or still, you know, it's always a process. And that's kind of the theme throughout, where it's a character sketch about my ebbs and flows as I went along. And then each individual song also works as a character sketch for people that I met on the inside. Let's call it on the inside, yeah. So it's got that kind of vibe to it. Yeah, so it starts out angry and full speed and whatnot, and then it kind of dwindles into just sad, you know. It came out the other side, however, but that wouldn't have been a good place to stop the album, you know. Stories with happy endings are kind of boring.
Yeah, there always are. Well, that flies in the face a bit of what I was going to say next, because I had to listen to the album this afternoon, and to me, it's got a real feel-good vibe about it. Like it's uplifting. Like, and the way you're describing it is it's very serious subject matter.
It is very serious subject matter, but I think it's kind of juxtaposed with a lot of, you know, kind of uplifting, groovy tunes. Because if it was just sad lyrics over sad songs, then it would just be an Adele album, you know, and we couldn't have that.
So from a musician's point of view, bro, like how hard is it to write feel good, up tempo, sort of good vibe music around something that's so serious? Like, is it hard to get that contrast?
Sometimes, yeah. A couple of the songs on this album took, you know, it took some doing. Had to redo them once or twice to try and get the right sound, because they were even, I mean, somewhere in a demo version there exists probably 3 or 4 different versions of some of the songs where the lyrics are the same, but, you know, we tried to go for just a standard trudging doom sound. And then I was like, you know, it's just not sitting. Maybe we should go for, I don't know, surf rock, or next time around maybe somebody should play like a hip-hop type beat, and then we try and work with that. So there was a lot of experimentation that went around. I don't think there's only a couple of songs on the album that first go were perfect, you know, that we were like, yes, that sounds like it fits the lyrics. The other ones, it took some experimentation, so it's not easy. But yeah, it takes some work. Sorry, my dog is chewing my hand.
Look, what a beautiful puppy. He's going right at it. He's pretty focused on taking his cup off. The album starts with a hillbilly fight song, which is introduced by a bit of a voiceover before kicking in with music. So we're trying to sort of set up a scene of sorts, I guess, by having that small bit of narrative first up.
Definitely. And it kind of pulls the thread right through the whole album. Actually, interestingly, most of the sound clips come from the same thing. It's an old public domain movie with Vincent Price in it. It's called The House on Haunted Hill. It's one of my all-time favorites. And it just kind of fit along with the album. It just made sense. All except for the intro to Delirium Tremors, because that's a different thing altogether.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of the idea. It's it helps with setting the scene, and then from there on, it has the effect that it kind of keeps, like I said, just the thread just keeps tying everything together, all the loose ends and whatnot.
Oh, yeah, sweet. So I love some of the song titles on there too, mate. Like this, I like some of them that much that I'm going to ask you to go into a bit more depth for me on a couple of them. So firstly, tell me more about She's Still a Goth.
Oh, that's actually, well, the song itself is very lyrically related to my wife. It was a thing that, and that came about almost during lockdown or whatever. When she was younger, I'd say she was very goth in a sense. And she liked only that type of music, and then later on began, listening to different kinds of stuff and whatnot. And then when we were stuck in the house during lockdown, there was, nothing else to do. We were listening to music, and she had a bit of a goth renaissance, and she it went back into it. And for a while, I was like, "Oh, this is getting a bit grating." And then I got really into it, and then we were like, "Woo!" Having a good old goth time. And then that's the title was basically, I was like, "Yeah, you thought you were over it, but no, it's still a goth."
Very cool. How about Cement Brain? That sounds cool.
Cement Brain actually comes from I have a really good friend. Her name is Katja, and we were talking about, well, it was due to mental health at some point, but we were talking about specifically, having a I don't remember what you call the things. It's basically a benzo just to kind of calm you down if you're having a panic attack or whatever. And then she said, "That's fine, but sometimes when I have that, it feels like I have cement in my brain." And I was like, "That's a fantastic song." I immediately wrote it down. I didn't know when I was going to use it, but then eventually the song came around and I was like, "Yeah, there it is. Got it now."
Beautiful. And the final one is a song about drugs with a clever title. I love the name of that.
Yeah. So that one says it all. I mean, that's what the song is about. But what's hilarious about it is I was writing the song and the lyrics had come together, and the music was there and it was sounding really cool. And I wrote down a placeholder at the top because I was like, okay, so this is obviously, it's a song about drugs. And then in brackets, I put with a clever title, because I was like, I need to go back and make this title something referencing drugs, but it needs to be clever because it can't just be, a random drug name. And then later on, I saw the title again and I was like, no, that's fucking perfect. That's the one we need.
I love it. There's always sort of an underlying element of humor in your music, man. Like, is that deliberate, or is that just your natural personality coming?
No, it is deliberate. It is deliberate in a sense, and I think also not. I think that's just, because I'm always at the helm of writing the lyrics and choosing, deciding on the titles for songs and whatever. I think it comes through because that's just my personality. A lot of it's a bit dark, I guess, but it's always slightly funny to some degree. Not, I don't think I could let it go if it's not that way. It always has to have just a little quirkiness to it.
Yeah. And musically, mate, like, you listen to the whole album, like, you paint a bit of a sonic landscape similar in some respects to like a B-grade drive-in feature film in parts, mate. Like, was that a focus going into the album to sort of try and paint that picture?
Yeah, for sure. And it kind of, it was, for me, that idea was a continuation from the previous album, The Devil's Cattle, which we had sort of the same kind of thing. So I'm a very big fan of like B-grade horror and that type of cinema, and just the whole idea of even drive-ins and whatnot. It's a thing for me that I really like. So I try to keep that as a congruent thing. Probably with the next album, it will have that same continuation, but at some point I'm going to have to stop doing that because it's going to be too much of the same. So I think we'll have another album come out and it will be kind of a trilogy of things that do the same thing, and then I don't know what's going to happen next,
But how difficult is it musically for you to be able to create that sort of that mental image and atmosphere? Because whatever you've done, you've nailed it, because I'm on the other side of the world and it worked on me, like it resonated with me. So whatever you've done, you've nailed it. Is it trial and error? Is it something you know what you're doing, or?
Well, like I said with the music earlier, to make them fit the lyrics, that was a bit of trial and error here and there. But I don't think it's the getting it to have that kind of vibe is not hard for me, because I think that's where my mindset is at most of the time. When I relax and I watch a movie, I'm usually watching something like that. So it's always constantly happening in my mind. It's the kind of media that I consume, and the other dudes in the band as well. So I think it just that bit kind of naturally happens. If that's what we're planning for, then it just comes out, because I guess that's I don't know how to explain it. It just feels natural because that's what I do all the time.
Yeah, cool. So what's next for Ruff Majik after the album comes out, mate? You got plans for world domination? You coming on this side of the world?
I'm hoping so. So this year we've got 2 European tours. We're heading in August and in October, or mid-October to November. We're playing some cool stuff. We're going to play some nice festivals that haven't been announced, so I can't say yet. And some cool support slots for bands like Acid King and Sasquatch and whatnot, which is going to be, I think, is going to be really nice. And that's going to probably be the cap on this year. And we'll do another round of touring SA, like a big South African tour, probably around December. But then next year, obviously, it's time to spread wings and get over to different places. I would really like to do Oz. That would be fantastic. And the US too, honestly, that would be sick. First I need to find somebody who's keen to bring us over, and then we'll make it happen.
I've been looking for you, mate. I've been keeping my ears open. So if I hear of anything, I'll let you know straight away.
Please do. Please do. Yeah, we have chatted to some folks that have been keen. But yeah, it's always a mission, Obviously, first time going to a new country, there's input costs, and you need to figure out how, is it going to work? Is it not going to work? So the first one's always a risk, which is why we're just doing Europe now, because we've done it before and it's less of a risk and means we can make some money and then potentially put that money towards doing something like Oz, than actually taking the risk and seeing how it goes down.
Now, smart musicians. When did that happen?
Hey, man, you got it. You got it.
All right, Johnny. Well, thanks very much for your time, bro. Electric Ram is out April 28th. It's an absolute cracker of an album. We'll be reviewing it in heavy over the next couple of days, so check that out. But in the meantime, listen to the album, get behind Ruff Majik, and hopefully we'll see you here sooner rather than later, brother.
You remember the fun we had when you poisoned me?
Something you ate, the doctor said.
Yes, arsenic on the rocks.
Down on the knees and they're begging you, out my